Let's have some fun with this easy do-it-yourself buttons craft project. It's kind of like painting with buttons. I'm going to use an 8x10 canvas board. You could use a stretched canvas or paper, like a cardstock paper if you want. This will be more durable. We're going to draw a design on our canvas of anything you'd like to make. I've chosen to do a bluebird today. So I'm going to start by painting this canvas a light blue because I want it to be like the sky behind the bluebird. So I put a little bit of light blue and white on my plate. I'm going to mix that together to make a very light blue sky color. So I'm going to take just a minute to plan what my bluebird is going to look like so I can choose my buttons and my button colors. So I'm going to have a cartoon looking bird sitting on a branch. I made a circle for the head. I'm drawing an oval for the body. And it's going to have a wing and a wing, different color here. I think this will be kind of an orange. This will be blue. Face is going to have, of course, a beak in the center. I might make that out of felt, put it on when I'm done. Eyes, a few feathers on the top maybe, and tail. And his little feet will come down like this onto a branch. The branch will be brown. I'll make the leaves green, and I'll find buttons that will work for that, I hope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my bird onto my canvas that is now dry. I think I'm going to try drawing my branch first and putting my bird on top of it. We're going to paint this on and then put the buttons on top of the paint. So when I made my drawing, I decided that I needed orange, blue, and kind of an off-white, and green and brown. So I've put some of these colors on my plate now. And I'm going to paint the different surfaces the color that the buttons will be, because then that color will show from behind the buttons. I think that will look good. The tail and the wings and the part of the body is going to be this dark blue, and that's covering up my pencil marks. Rinse my brush out real well. Then I'm going to do the brown stick next, I think. This is kind of a lighter brown that will go behind any of the brown buttons that I have. And some green where the leaves are going to be. I know I have some oval green buttons for sure. I'm only going to put buttons on top of my actual object here, but you could cover the entire surface with buttons if you wanted to. Now let's put some orange on his tummy. Now this doesn't have to be perfect because there will be buttons on top. And I'm going to go ahead and put orange feet on here. I'm going to paint this face area this kind of a peachy color, and of course the beak will be in the center of that when we're done, but I'm going to put that on top of the buttons, so I'm not going to paint it on right now. I might put some white on where the eyes are going to go. Okay, we're going to let that paint dry, and then we're going to come back with some glue and buttons. So I got out my button jar, and I'm going to pour all these buttons out into a pan so I can choose some in the colors that I want. I've been collecting these up for a long time, and I use them for projects in sewing and in art. And then I also have purchased some buttons in little packets that have colors that I don't have enough of in my button collection. I've pulled out quite a few buttons here in the colors that I said I wanted to use, the greens and blues, orange, brown, white, and off-white. All right, so these are the oval green buttons that I told you that I had. I remembered those were in there. I'm going to use those for leaves, tummy, branch, the face, and maybe part of the tummy as well. And here's the blue part. And I'm going to dump out this little package of blue and greens that I got that I can also use for the bird and the branches. So, isn't that beautiful? Now that I've found my buttons, I'm going to glue certain sections in the colors that I have them painted. I think I'm going to start with the blue tail section and body of the bird. I might use this big one first. I'm trying to vary the colors of blue that I'm putting on here to get some kind of turquoise blue and some darker blue. And I may come back and put a few buttons on top as well. Now I'm going to put glue all over the face, and we might work back and forth between that center part and the outside part to try to get the buttons to fit right. Okay, I'm going to try putting some ivory buttons in the center here. Now I'm going to try putting some orange on its tummy. I have these orange buttons to use. I also might put in a couple that are kind of orangey yellow. Okay, so now I'm going to line up some brown buttons. So I'm going to use these green ovals for leaves down here. I knew I had these buttons from another project. Add an extra little branch up here, just for fun. I'm going to let some of this glue dry, and then I'm going to add some buttons on top. I chose 2 whites I'm going to glue on here to be eyes. And on top of those, I'm going to put 2 black buttons to be the centers of the eyes. I think this will work really well. So I found a little piece of orange felt. I'm going to make 2 small triangle pieces that I can use for the beak. Okay, so we're going to put the bottom one on first. Yeah, that's what I'm wanting. This easy do-it-yourself buttons craft project allows kids of all ages to paint with buttons. Have great fun making whimsical pictures using buttons. For more button crafts and other ideas, come on over to welcometonanas.com and join the fun.